Do you know what native tree had a part to play in the Boston Tea Party? I'll tell you how you can identify it. The leaves have 3 different shapes, sort of like a mitten, and then a plain leaf, and then 3. Another name for this tree is from the color of the twig. And the color of the twig is green. It's called green twig. Any ideas on what it is? I'll give you another hint. If you break off a leaf and smell it, it'll smell like lemon. But if you were to dig up the roots, it would have a totally different smell and smell really good. And the roots are the key to how this played a part in the Boston Tea Party. Well, years ago in Boston, the people were very upset with King George of England. King George wanted to tax tea, and the British and people from Europe, they had to have their tea. They would have tea breaks all the time. And this was the tea, the black tea that we're normally used to drinking. Well, he wanted to put a tax to the Americans on the tea that they were bringing into Boston Harbor. Americans, the colonists, wouldn't have any part of it. And the Indians had taught them many years ago that if you dig the roots from this plant and you grind them up and you boil them, you get a sweet tea, and it's called sassafras tea. And sassafras tea was an alternative to the English tea. So the colonists, one night, they decided they'd dress up as Native Americans, and they'd go onto the ships that were set up in port in the Boston Harbor, and they took all of the crates of the black tea and they threw them in the water. In today's money, it was worth millions of dollars, but it was a protest. It was a protest to the King of England saying, we're not going to pay for tea because we have our own tea. We have sassafras tea. And for a period of time, the colonists drank the sassafras tea, and they did not drink the English tea. And eventually that started, and it created anger amongst the colonists and the British. The British because they couldn't get the taxes, and the colonists because they wanted not to be taxed. Created a problem. American Revolution started. Sassafras, the tree, helped play a part not only in the Boston Tea Party, but also the American Revolution. In the spring, you can get the small trees. You better have a shovel because they're hard to dig up. But you can get the root, scrape it with a potato peeler, get as small as you can, put that in a pot of boiling water, let it boil for 4 or 5 minutes. You'll start to smell the wonderful aroma from the sassafras. You will strain out the tree parts, and you can drink the tea straight. You can add a little bit of sugar, or if you want, honey to it, and you can have yourself a delightful, what the colonists would call a spring tonic. They felt that it sort of brought them out of their winter humdrums and make them energetic because spring was coming. Hey, if you enjoyed this about the American Revolution, about the Boston Tea Party, about your history and my history, give me a big thumbs up, sign up for my subscription, and I'll teach you all about all of the outdoors and how it relates historically and how it relates as far as foods and medicines. Hey, thank you, and may God bless you and your family.